we thought, 6 games left, so let's ask 6 questions about the second half of the season. So we've got 6 questions for us. We're each going to give you an answer, and then we'll post these on our Twitter poll for Twitter poll questions, so you can let us know, or if you got anything that you want to add on to this. So we'll start off with question number 1 here. 6 games left to go, 6 questions. Questions number 1. What area do you want to see Texas Tech improve on the most from the first half of the season to the second half of the season? Dustin.
Yeah, I'll just piggyback on my offensive stats of plays and points. I want more points on all these plays. I like all the 90 play games, but I need more than 34 points a game. So, we need to be up over 37 points, 38 points, closer to 40 points in the second half of the season, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And for mine, it'll be the third down conversions. You've got to be significantly better than 34% on third downs. You've got to figure out a way. I know sometimes those certain longs, all right, well, you can throw those out sometimes, but there's been several situations where you've had third and shorts in good field position, and you're just unable to convert on those. And those are backbreakers, because then you're going to the fourth down, and sure, our conversion rate on that's higher, but I would much rather get that third down instead of having to put it all onto one play on that fourth down. So for me, it's the ability to convert on those fourth downs. Second question. So far through this season, our top 3 wide receivers are within 25 yards of each other. So we're throwing the ball around. A lot of guys are getting opportunities to catch it, but your top 3 receivers, number 1, Jaron Bradley, number 2, Miles Price, number 3, Trey Cleveland. So Dustin, the question, which wide receiver leads the team in yards at the end of this season? I know Miles Price was the guy everybody thought at the beginning of the season, hasn't turned out to be so much, a little bit of injury problems. But so who do you got?
I'm sticking with my prediction here and going big catch, Trey Cleveland. I think he's getting hot. I think Barron likes him. That's important. Yeah. If your quarterback really likes you, trusts you. So I'm going Trey Cleveland for the top receiver.
I thought I was going to be the different one here, but yeah, I got Trey Cleveland too. I'm very high on Trey Cleveland. I love he's a jump ball winner. When you throw that ball up to him, he goes and gets it. He's had 198 yards in his last 2 games. He's getting more and more opportunities. I think you're going to just see him all over the field. I think he's earned those opportunities. I think he's earned more snaps on this offense. He's one of the receivers that I trust the most right now. And I'm really excited to see what he can do with a guy like Barron, maybe Shuck coming back, somebody who can, because he can really stretch the field. So I'm excited to see what he can do the second half of the season, as it looks like he's really earned that wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 type spot out there.
Something that's going to affect these numbers between all 3 of those guys is Loic Fouonji's coming back from a little shoulder injury that he's been not all the way off the field, but he's been very limited in games for the last couple of weeks because of that. So he's going to be back coming this weekend. So how that affects these numbers could depend on Loic.
Yeah, it could. But one of the things that they've always talked about is they're going to ride the hot hand. So right now, he's as hot as anybody on the team. So I think you got to give him those reps. But yeah, they said Fungi couldn't get his couldn't catch balls over his head with his shoulder. Like, it was a real problem for him. So yeah. So that problem seems to be in the past. So he'll be back, which is just another weapon to add for your quarterbacks. All right. So the quarterback question, Dustin, we've had to kind of mold this one because it's tough for a Texas Tech fan to just say one quarterback's going to start the last 6 games of the season. We can't keep a quarterback healthy. It's a great frustration here. So, Dustin, the question is, which quarterback plays the most games down the stretch here in these last 6 games? Who do you got?
I think it's Behren Morton.
Yeah.
And I would not have said that 2 days ago. Yeah. But with the news that Shuck is not a practice participant, I think that knocks him down, puts Behren in the driver's seat for this game, and then for the rest of the season, he holds the cards. So I think it's Behren Morton.
Yeah, in our quarterback conversation last week, that's what I hinted on was let's watch and see what they say with Shuck. And I tuned into Joey McGuire's press conference yesterday, and he said he was not cleared yet, which makes me believe that Barron's going to be your guy Saturday. And if he looks the part, wins you this game, I don't think you can turn back. So, yes, I agree with you there. I think Behren Morton's going to be the guy who starts the most games down the second half of this season, and you're going to get a glimpse into the bright future for the Texas Tech Red Raiders in this offense with Behren Morton and Zach Kittley. So now let's get a little bit more into the opponents we're facing here down the stretch. 6 games left. So, Dustin, the question here, and this one will take a little bit more. So we ranked the teams that we feel like Texas Tech is most likely to get a win against. 6 being the least likely to beat, and 1 being the most likely victory. So, Dustin, which way do you want to start? You want to start with the most likely and get to the most? Yeah, let's start.
I have mine least likely to most, but I can go backwards, obviously.
Well, let's start with our most likely victory, Dustin. Which one do you think is the most likely?
West Virginia this weekend.
West Virginia. I have Kansas because it is still Kansas, and while I think their offense is good, them losing their best quarterback, and they can't stop anybody on that defense, and it's a home game, so I have Kansas. And West Virginia is my next one, so we just basically flip-flop there. So let's just skip West Virginia because we've talked enough about them and why we think that we're going to beat West Virginia. What is your third most likely to win out of these 6 games?
My like 3-4 here are the same. I think I couldn't really pick. Like Iowa State, Baylor are the same to me. Like in level of, I don't know what you want to call it, scared to win, likelihood of victory, whatever.
Yeah.
Iowa State just can't get out of their own way. Baylor, I don't know what they are this year, like kind of deal. Like lose a crushing in Oklahoma State and then blow it to West Virginia. Like, so I kind of don't know what you're going to get with either of those teams. I got them right in the middle, kind of at the same page.
Yeah, I got that. I went Baylor here. I think Baylor I was kind of on before the season. I remember talking about how I think they were going to kind of fall back to earth this season. They have a much tougher road schedule, and I think that's really true. Coming up true so far. I think they have a significantly worse defense than they had last year, which was a really dang good defense. Their offense seems to be having some issues. So, and this is a home game, so I feel pretty good about Baylor. Is going to be night game. Patrick Mahomes getting inducted.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So Baylor right there. Your next one, you had Iowa State. I have Oklahoma here. Okay. I have Oklahoma. They are obviously not the Oklahoma that we remember, the Oklahoma that we thought we were going to see this season. But for me, it's another home game. The only thing that scares me about this one is that it is at the end of the season. So maybe by that time, Oklahoma kind of figures some things out, maybe looks a little more like a competitive football team other than a team that's letting Kansas hang that many points on them. But at the same time, I really don't think they're that good of a team. I think this should be a win at home. So that's what I went for with my fourth one, Oklahoma there. So your next one, 2 left.
My third,
we're getting to the most difficult.
My 2. Okay. I still think they got a lot of good players. That's why they're so high. So where they're at in the season, I don't know, but just because of the talent on the roster, it's still really good. So I'm still going to put them really high. And I still think, they played Kansas, I guess, but they haven't really played those other teams on the schedule there. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to compare, but I still think with talent level, they're up at number 2.
Yeah, there's one that you got to think about because, they got the talent. Maybe they figure out some things at by the end of the season that make them a little bit better than what we're seeing now. So I think mine just I don't think we're going to be seeing the same Oklahoma team that we're seeing now. I have Iowa State there, and my main reason for that is road game. I just haven't seen us win on the road yet, so I feel more comfortable of us beating all the teams that we have at home more than I feel for us beating a team on the road just now, but I do think Iowa State's the easiest road game. Of course, you only have 2, which gets to our most difficult opponent left on the schedule,
TCU,
Dustin.
baby.
That's TCU. What are you feeling about the Horned Frogs, who are a completely different team now than we thought at the beginning of the season?
Max Duggan's actually playing decent. We talked so much shit, and he's playing good now. Sonny Dykes has those guys rolling. That game's also on the road in Fort Worth, so that just makes it harder to play on the road, is just a fact of it. So they're the best team left in front of you right now, to be honest. That's all it is.
Yeah, they're the best team left in front of you. They have a running quarterback, which has been one of our huge weaknesses so far this season, and Max Duggan has already torched us many times in the past. This is a road game, and while it's not as scary of a road game because there's going to be plenty of Texas Tech fans there, it still is a road game.
Yeah.
And they're looking good. That was a weird, bizarre game versus Oklahoma State where I think we were texting in the middle like, oh my gosh, TCU is terrible, and then all of a sudden they come back and win that game. So
yeah, I was ready second quarter to send out the thanks for coming out TCU, and then they pulled within 10, and it's like, oh, never mind. Good thing I didn't send that.
And then Oklahoma State forgot how to play football for like an entire half and overtime, and TCU wins that game. But yeah, so my rankings, I've got TCU as the most difficult, Iowa State, Oklahoma, Baylor, West Virginia, and Kansas as the easiest. Dustin, yours?
TCU, Oklahoma, Iowa State, Baylor, Kansas, West Virginia. So pretty similar there.
Yeah, pretty similar, just a couple changes. And so that leads to question number 5. Dustin, Texas Tech record at the end of the season will be
8-4.
I have that too.
I'm going hard, all in on the second half. I feel good about it. 5-1 second half. I'm probably going to pick us to win every game.
Like
we've played the hardest teams or matchups that we think we have.
Yes. We've played all the hardest teams that you're going to face. Most of the other hard ones are at home. And then you've got that TCU one, which Iowa State to me feels like a coin flip. Like we'll see. They don't look impressive to me. They have a good defense. Their offense doesn't scare you. So
Also Iowa State in November, so who knows what you're going to get weather-wise.
Yeah. That's the only thing. It's going to be cold on the road. We typically don't play very well there, so we'll see on that. But yeah, I have 8-4, and that leads to our last question, Dustin. Predict a tweet-length summary of year 1 for head coach Joey McGuire. So basically this one is just like, what do you think that you'll be tweeting after that Texas Tech Oklahoma game ends to summarize this first season?
Kind of did, like one sentence, I guess tweet length-ish. But Coach McGuire raised the level of competition of this program. You were never out of any game and fought back into and won a few come-from-behind games. Great coaching job by him and his staff.
All right, I went, the future looks even brighter after year 1 of the McGuire era comes to an end. Texas Tech's undefeated home record propels them to their most wins in the regular season since 2009. Let's go bowling. #Wreck 'em.
Dang right.
So, yeah, me and Dustin on the same page there, 8-4, a favorable home schedule here. If you take care of business, win your home games, 8 wins, definitely possible. 7 wins feels like
you got 4 home games here. Yeah. I didn't really kind of realize that. This whole 7th home game throws me off. So, you have 4 home games, and hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, and all of them are opponents that really I think you can beat. Like you've seen these teams. Oklahoma is not Oklahoma. Baylor struggling. West Virginia beatable. Kansas is kind of falling back a little bit to earth after 5-0 start. So I think that is all definitely manageable. Any little thing else you wanted to mention here?
No, not on those. We kicked out a question, the defense taking 3 away, kind of over it, but I put 1 on there just for the heck of it. God,
Yeah, so if you're listening in, we originally question number 1 was, will the Tech defense have a take 3 game? Kind of felt too simple of a question, so we ended up changing that to, what do you want to see us improve on? But yeah, that is definitely one of the things that we do want to see us improve on is getting those take 3s. I thought of a bonus question, like bowl game, read a tweet from your drafts that you think is funny that you didn't actually send out. I've got a big portfolio of Twitter drafts that I've typed up, sometimes mad, and just you know what, I'm not going to send that one. Maybe we can do a whole thing.
I just delete and don't send and don't even save.
I was like, maybe we should do a whole segment one time of my Twitter drafts. It might be kind of funny. I know there's 5 or 6 from that Houston game where I was pissed that we're about to lose it, and then we convert on 4th and 20, and you're like, wait, yeah. Don't send. Catch y'all at the next tailgate.